Greetings to the youth of Uganda, Africa, and the world at large. I'm Coach Fred Uganda. I have a question for you. Why do you keep saying it is okay even when you did not have supper? Why do you think it is okay for you when you don't have your own house? And when do you think it is very okay for you when your children are not in school? And why do you think it is okay when you don't have your own business? And why do you think it is okay when you don't have any plan ahead of your goals and your dreams? My fellow youth, I want you to understand one thing, that this world you're seeing is entirely depending on you. The next world that we're expecting is going to completely depend on how you behave. It is going to depend on how you're planning for it. Your current activities are going to determine 95% of what the world is going to be tomorrow. Our fathers, our grandparents are grown up now, and they are yet to leave this country, this world, and you're taking over. But it is sad to note that whatever they have done, the struggles they have gone through, and all what they have prepared is going to be a waste if the youth of today do not take in consideration of what I'm going to speak about. It is not all about the kind of car you're driving right now. It's not all about the kind of suit that you're putting on right now, but it is all about how you treat people. When we are building up businesses, we don't build businesses, but we build people who will later build the business. Therefore, my fellow youth, learn how to conduct yourself well before people. The way you speak, the way you eat, the way you move, and the way you dress up. If you don't respect people, then things are going to turn the other way around for you. Remember, when old people tell you something, they mean something. So it is always very important to critically analyze whatever they are telling us so that we can build a good nation. We have to know one thing, that the world is entirely depending on us. The world is looking at us. Sometimes so many people fear to respect and fear to trust a youth. Because when you go to the prisons everywhere in Africa, everywhere in the world, you find that the most people, the most criminals are the youth. When you go down the village, it is very hard for someone to trust a youth because we have presented ourselves in a negative manner that we cannot be trusted. So I want you to change your mindset, that during your youthful stage, it is the right stage for you to make wonders, to build your reputation, to make a foundation of who you are, a foundation of who you're going to be in a nearby future. Time is going to come when the sun is no longer lighting for you, but what are they going to speak about you? My fellow youth, I just want you to understand one thing, that what people speak about you when you're not there, it represents exactly who you are. You don't have to steal, but you have to work very hard. Stop being negative in everything. Youth are good at being negative and criticizing everything, and they always give an excuse as to why they cannot do it. When you tell a youth, let's do a shop, he will automatically tell you shops catch fire, shops are always broken into. When you tell a youth, let's buy a car, he will directly tell you cars are stolen. So there is always an excuse as to why a youth doesn't want to do it. And remember, we still have so many years ahead of us. When will you start? You need to leave a legacy behind. We have children, we have people's daughters that we have at home. If you don't want your daughter to be played, then don't play with someone's daughter. If you produce a child who is negative, even your grandchild is going to be negative. There is no HIV negative person who will ever give birth to a positive child. They will also be negative. So stop planting the negativity into your generations. It is the right time to change our mindset that if our grandparents were poor, that we are also supposed to be poor. We can embrace the levels of technology and do what is right. We can divert that saying, if our grandparents were rich, then we are going to be richer. If our grandparents were poor, then you are going to be rich, not poor. Make sure you have the right choice of friends. A friend who doesn't buy from you, you don't need that person. You need to build a forest of friends who can stand and buy what you're selling as you also buy from them. In the meetings that you normally have, what kind of friends do you sit in an association? If you have an association and you're a member, if the association have 15 people, what kind of value do they add to you? And what do you add on them? What do you contribute to them when they are speaking? Do you contribute something or you contribute nothing? So you need to understand that as a youth, you are still energetic, you're still fresh, you're still smart, and you can make things happen in your life. Remember to always struggle and make things happen in your life, but don't just let them happen. This world is very wide. It's not all about you doing so many things. You can look at one thing, get trained into it, and make sure you do it to the best. Use the principles of cooperative advantage. Take up a loan if you can. Talk to a friend if you can. Look for your role model if you can. Ask that role model how he did it. It's not all about you doing exactly what he did, but you can borrow a leaf from how he did it, and you can also apply that principle onto your own activities and build your own future. As a youth, you're supposed to have a piece of pen and paper, well streamline your dreams and your goals. Arrange them from the most pleasing one to the least. That is the scale of preference. Don't just spend anyhow. Make sure you spend on only what is necessary. If it is not necessary, then you don't have to spend. So look at your income, look at your expenditure. I want you to behave according to your expenditure. Stop giving every time you want to give, but how many people do give you back? When you give to somebody, just expect to be given back at one point. So as a youth, you're supposed to explore. You're supposed to learn a number of skills that will help you move your life in a straight path. Even when you feel like things are not working out, it is okay to take a deep breath, wake up again, and look for the right path. It's not an easy journey that we are traveling. It's not an easy trip, but we have to make sure that we sacrifice and surrender whatever we have in order to reach there. If you don't start on your journey, nobody is going to walk it for you. It is you who is going to walk it. Remember, responsibilities are coming in as you're growing up, and the problems are also coming in as you're growing up. So when the problems are coming and you're not ready, that's why you're going to suffer, you're going to cry, you're going to start begging. So it is very important to realize a person who has told you that you are hopeless. If someone says you're hopeless, it is okay because he or she has reminded you that your hope is getting lesser. Therefore, work very hard and pull your stockings. We can reach our destinations. We can get there. We can achieve all the goals if we know them very well. But if we don't know where we are heading, it will be very hard for us to get there. If we don't repeat from the past mistakes, we are doomed to repeating the same mistakes. Therefore, we must look at the mistakes of our parents, the mistakes of our grandparents, and then we build on that to make a strong army that will really struggle and prosper financially. The levels of technology are moving at a highest rate. Therefore, stop blaming the technology, but embrace the technology so that you can be facilitated for you to get back to your dreams and goals. I want to say this, youth of Africa, youth of Uganda, you mean a lot. If this world is to fail, it will fail because of you, not because of your grandparents. Because you still have enough time to change what your grandparents failed to do. If you want to be rich, go ahead and grow. Go ahead and plant a tree that will bear fruits 40 years after you are dead. Because even the mangoes you are enjoying from the market right now, you don't know who planted them. Probably someone who did it died a long time ago. We normally go under the tree and enjoy the shade. But do you know somebody who planted that tree? It was a little tree and someone planted it. He knew that at one point, one of my grandchildren will have to come and enjoy this shade. I'm Coach Fred Uganda. I love you youth, empowering youth in Africa.